There are two schools of thought that offer apparently at odds with one another: non-duality and the law of attraction. One champions the idea that the self is a creative force for both individual and global expansion, while the other stresses the idea that the self dissolves into an undifferentiated reality. Nevertheless, when seen from a more holistic perspective, these methods can complement one another and even share fascinating intersections. Delving into these philosophies unveils deep understandings about life, truth, and identity. A non-dualist view, which has its origins in schools of thought such as Buddhism, Hindu Advaita Vedanta, Taoism, and Sufism, holds that the duality of subject and object is illusory. Its stated goal is to show how the world's apparent diversity masks a deeper unity. To reach this understanding, one must often engage in deep self-reflection and regular meditation. Ramana Maharshi, one of the most important people in contemporary non-dualism, popularized the practice of introspection by posing the question, "Who am I?" The investigation reveals the lack of an individual I by peeling back layers of identification with the body, mind, and ego. According to this view, the concept of self is conceptually illusory. The only thing that has persisted is the non-dual reality, the foundation of all things that is both limitless and shapeless. This insight, according to non-dualism, dispels all preferences, desires, and individuality, leaving only the source's immutable, endless stillness. In contrast, according to the law of attraction, personal preferences and desires are fundamental manifestations of being. This view maintains that reality is not fixed, but rather constantly evolving and growing. It argues that humans are vital to this growth because we are conscious agents of the source. According to the law of attraction, our feelings and ideas influence the world around us, turning vague ideas into concrete experiences. The law of attraction promotes the satisfaction of desires, seeing them as an integral part of the creative flow from the source, in contrast to non-dualism's common advice to be detached from them. Their divergent understandings of the source are the root cause of this discrepancy. The source is seen as static and unchanging by non-duality, but by the law of attraction, it is seen as dynamic, ever-changing, and intrinsically creative. There is a profound metaphysical underpinning to the law of attraction's manifestation process. According to this theory, one's preferences take on a subtle shape right after they emerge from the source. In the world of subtle reality, for instance, one's desires for health, a relationship, or better circumstances are instantly fulfilled. The next step is to let these desires go all the way from abstract idea to concrete physical reality. It is hindered by resistance, which can be described as negative thought patterns. On the flip side, if one trains themselves to think and feel positively, they will be more in tune with the energy of the source, and their desires will manifest more quickly. Think about emotional guidance to get a handle on this. A person's emotional state is a measure of how well they are in harmony with their source, according to the law of attraction. Emotions that are positive indicate alignment with the source's expansionary force, while those that are negative show opposition. A state of openness and acceptance that is favorable to manifestation can be achieved through practices such as meditation and mindful detachment, which help to calm the mind. Curiously, there are non-dual practices that align with this openness. In tantric traditions, non-duality is especially emphasized. It recognizes a stage after the self-dissolution when the realized person re-engages with the visible world. In this level of Hindu philosophy, life is seen as an expression of the source's creative potential. It is often called Lila or divine play. In a similar vein, tantric Buddhism presents the concept of liberating illusion, which gives the enlightened practitioner the ability to creatively traverse the world while being cognizant of the fact that both reality and one's sense of self are illusions. Finally, we reach a point where these methods could be combined. One view holds that non-duality lays the groundwork, leading to an understanding of the source's infinite stillness and unity. The law of attraction provides an alternative perspective that dynamically expresses this insight, where the individual, now perceived as an extension of the divine, joyfully takes part in the creative unfolding of reality. Similar to how the law of attraction explains expansion, scientific research offers a convincing analogy. Preferences like the need to survive drive the evolution of life, as shown by the theory of evolution. Life, from simple single-celled organisms to complex multicellular creatures, undergoes incalculable cycles of preference and adaptation. Likewise, the dynamic unfolding portrayed by the law of attraction is mirrored in the expansionary nature of the universe as observed in cosmology. Their mutual focus on letting go and surrendering is another way in which non-dualism and the law of attraction complement one another. Through introspection and surrender, non-duality teaches one to dissolve their ego. One way to let one's desires come true without fighting them is to surrender, according to the law of attraction. Releasing control, trusting the source, and harmonizing with the deeper flow of existence are key elements in both approaches. These seeming inconsistencies are resolved by adopting a more sophisticated understanding of the source. The non-duality described source is infinite and still in its unmanifest form. But when it takes on the form of the cosmos, it changes into something dynamic and expansive, in harmony with what the law of attraction states. The limitless potential of the source is mirrored in its two-faced nature, stillness and movement. This is depicted exquisitely in tantric traditions. The union of Shiva and Shakti represents the dynamic interplay between the two extremes of stillness and movement in these traditions. Shakti embodies the creative, energetic expression of the source, while Shiva represents its immutable, formless aspect. All of existence is contained within them when taken as a whole. The merging of non-duality with the law of attraction is reflected in this union, which brings together the tranquility of realization with the energy of creation. Lila is consistent with the principles of the law of attraction, which center on personal preference and creativity. For Hindus, Lila is a symbol of the cosmic dance of the divine, in which the one true God takes on an endless variety of shapes and experiences. The law of attraction takes a similar tack, seeing preferences and desires not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for the source to grow and express themselves. Life becomes an ode to the boundless possibilities of creativity when seen through this lens. In the end, when these paths are intertwined, it invites a deep change in one's relationship with life. The illusion of duality is dissolved by realizing non-duality, which unveils the oneness of all. Individuals are encouraged to fully embrace their role as co-creators in the unfolding of this oneness through the principles of the law of attraction. All things considered, they provide a complete picture of reality, one that gives due recognition to the source's ethereal calm and limitless inventiveness. One can find direction, happiness, and purpose in life by integrating the teachings of non-duality with the ever-changing principles of the law of attraction. Bridging the gap between being and becoming, this integration promotes a profound surrender to the source while actively engaging in its unfolding. When seen in this way, life is transformed into a journey towards liberation and a stage for the divine to perform. Each moment presents a chance to tap into the boundless possibilities of being.